I am back with a brand new DCU update for you guys here today. And I only have a couple of things to talk about. There hasn't been a whole lot going on behind the scenes other than a lot of the rumors that have been flying around. And so I'm going to show you one thing. We're going to talk about two things today. First, I'm going to talk about a recent Deadline story that has to do with DC content-related, DC-related content possibly going to Amazon, to be streaming on Amazon. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're also going to talk about some comments that were made by the man himself, James Gunn. And we're going to talk about what this means. Now, the bigger story is the James Gunn thing, which he did kind of bring up a couple of days ago, but I was waiting for some more information to follow, and there hasn't been anything to follow. So I figured I'd go ahead and bring the story now as it is. But let's look at a couple of things. Let's first look at what's going on, which has been reported by Deadline. Now, I went to Deadline's website. I couldn't find it, but it's being talked about all over Twitter. So right here it says, Warner Brothers Television Studios is in the process of closing a major animation deal with Amazon for DC-branded content. And that's probably where Batman the Caped Crusader will likely end up. I wouldn't doubt that. We've been hearing some rumors recently that Warner Brothers Discovery is getting ready to license a lot of their stuff out to other platforms to make more money, to bring in revenue for their services and their business, which does make business sense for them. But ultimately, if they end up doing this with DC Comics, I think it could really screw things up, although things are in dire shape at DC Comics, and I will probably do a video about that here shortly. I am just disgusted with DC Comics at this time. Their plan coming up for this reset that they're starting in January seems utterly asinine to me with the way they're rolling out and some of the people they're having working on the properties. But that's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with this particular story. Kind of got on my soapbox there for a minute. What does this mean for the future when it comes to Warner Brothers content? Well, what it actually means is that, honestly, we may lose a lot of the stuff that's on HBO Max, and it all could move over to Amazon if they decide to go that route. A lot of the stuff could move over there, and they may get rid of their whole DC section on HBO Max, which I think would be a huge mistake, but I do foresee in the future maybe all the TV show content and some of these things may be moving over to, at least the animated stuff, moving over to something like Amazon Prime, and then they have to pay a premium for that content. Now, I'm of the mind that if I'm paying for HBO Max and I'm paying for their service and they have a DC section, they should have everything DC related on there. They own it. I would hope that that's how they keep it, but that's not what I am counting on. But we're going to see where this leads in the future. So there's definitely some things happening behind the scenes. So that's one of the stories I wanted to talk about. The other thing is about James Gunn. All right, so a couple of days ago, 3 days ago as a matter of fact, Taniro Minaj asked a question directly to James Gunn and asked him, are you and your partner planning to give more DC character TV shows that add to the story for the DCEU? Everyone's got to start changing this to the DCU. He said, most definitely. The DCU will be connected across film and TV and animation. So everything is going to be connected. We're going to talk about this too, because some people were up in arms and started to make all kinds of stuff out of this that was not what it should be. So some people got on there and said, all right, everything else is done. Everything is going to be connected 100% across the board. That's not what he is stating there. When it comes to the DCU, and the characters are going to be bringing in live action, animated, whatever, yes, those things are going to be connected. But there are going to be other things that are outside that continuity. We already know that Matt Reeves has the Batman franchise, and they are running full force with that. Warner Brothers Discovery is fully invested in the Batman universe, which I'm not fully I haven't fully bought into. I think the second movie is going to make or break the character, because if there is not a lot of character growth for Batman, I think you're going to lose a lot of people, because the movie was good for what it was, but there were a lot of flaws to that film, and that character really needs some character growth for me to really jump on board with the second film. If that's not there, I don't think it's going to do very well. But what it does mean is that we're going to get a more connected universe, kind of like what the MCU has done. Now, this does bode well for some things and not others, like Stargirl is done over at the CW after Season 3. I think that's going to be done. Titans, I think after Season 4, Titans will be canceled, and I still haven't started watching that yet. I think I've watched 10 minutes of it and haven't gone back to it yet. I think all of these live-action shows that are currently there will end up getting canceled, and if they do have live-action shows, and they are going to be within the continuity of the DCEU. Not everything can stay that way, though. Obviously, they have the whole Penguin TV show that's getting developed for HBO Max. So I don't think everything is going to ultimately be connected. They're still going to have the Joker 2, with Joaquin Phoenix. So not everything is going to be ultimately connected. They are going to have Elseworld stories and things that are not within the continuity. But I think for the most part, everything is going to be connected. And this is something that I think we've all wanted from day one. And if they can come up with a cohesive plan that they can execute really well, I'm all on board for that. But they got to bring Green Lantern into this at this stage. There really has been no talk about Green Lantern. There's been mumblings behind the scenes and scoopers with their own thoughts on what's happening, but they haven't made any announcements. But one thing that has happened is the fact that they, with the merger, obviously the show was like deep into development, and they have retooled it. So it is no longer going to be about all these different Green Lanterns. It is supposedly going to mainly focus on Jon Stewart. They're still going to have to explain the absence of Hal Jordan and who it's going to be. I really do hope they get the actor that Zack Snyder did for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I hope we can get some continuity there and hopefully maybe have that scene restored at some point. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's been a lot of chatter about the Ayer cut out there as well. I do ultimately think that is going to be announced and released at some point, and that's a good way for them to make some money that doesn't really cost them a whole lot. So, again, there's still a lot to look forward to. It's a very positive thing with DC right now. We just got to sit back and wait for James Gunn to make his announcements. If anything else big hits between now and next week, I will be doing another video. I do appreciate the support. I will be getting ready to do a Rebel Moon update here very soon. I think within 2 days we're going to get a trailer, so I will be doing an update on that here shortly as well. So those will be in separate videos. Out of everybody who responded, I think most people said keep it separate, and I will be doing that. I do appreciate it. We will see you on the next video.